So it's almost like a niche, but the niche has grown probably beyond what people ever imagined. And if you do a little bit of research in it, you'll see that's the way that the world is turning. So I like to call it the new because a lot of businesses such as like Nike, and I also just saw something with H&M where they're actually taking their business onto the metaverse also.
Welcome back to another episode of WinHers United, the podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Walker, and I truly appreciate you listening in. This is Season 10, Episode 7, entitled International and Digital Real Estate with Shameekah Melvin. Before we jump into the interview, I want to tell you more about me and WinHers United, the podcast. I believe that success leaves clues. And WinHers United, the podcast was created to give you the clues you need to succeed in business, mindset, personal development, and self-care. These are the 4 pillars we stand on here at WinHers United, which is why they are emphasized, so we all can live a complete and fulfilled life, both personally as well as professionally. If you love WinHers United, please invite someone you know to listen and tell your friend to tell a friend. Let's spread the knowledge, y'all. You know we believe in being empowered and empowering on. Now, without further ado, let's get into Season 10, Episode 7, entitled International and Digital Real Estate with Shameekah Melvin. We're back with another amazing, winning woman of color entrepreneur, Shameekah. Welcome.
Hello.
Super excited to have you. So before we get started, I'm going to tell you more about Shameekah. Shameekah Melvin is a serial entrepreneur with a primary focus on real estate. As an international realtor with Keller Williams Punta Cana, she makes her clients' dreams come true by helping them get a piece of paradise. Shameekah is also a digital sales agent with Tropiverse, better known as the Metaverse. Her Tropiverse clients buy digital land for their business or businesses to generate additional income streams. Being in the international and digital real estate industry has changed Shameekah's life. She truly has a passion for helping others and loves to see her clients grow their real estate portfolio. Shameekah, you got a lot going on. I am like, you talking about stuff that it's like, okay, I know what it is, but I don't know what it is. So I'm excited to learn more.
Yes.
All right. So let's get started by you telling us what inspired you to get into real estate.
Okay. Well, I've always wanted to get into real estate since I was younger. I am a type of person that likes to help people. So I do feel like getting into the real estate market is also a way of helping people because so many people are looking for homes. And part of my genre is affordable housing, which that's a whole nother topic with mobile homes. So it was just key for me. And then when I heard about the international side, I was very intrigued. I received some information that I was happy to get involved with because it's a whole nother sector of the real estate game. And I like what I do, I actually love what I do.
All right, good. Well, I love that. One of the questions that I used to ask on the earlier seasons of the podcast was, what did you want to be when you grew up? Right. Which, I'm not sure if your answer is real estate, but I love the fact that it's something that you wanted to do for a long time. And fast forward to now, you're actually doing what you set out to do. All right. So for those that are thinking about getting into real estate, can you tell us the different ways that they can do so? You just mentioned like you do international stuff. You just mentioned affordable house. You mentioned mobile homes. Like I know
Yes.
it's a lot of facets to real estate.
Yes. I'll start off with the international side. If you want to get into the international side, I would suggest looking into Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, because we are number one leading Caribbean states as far as tourism and as far as investors getting into the short term rental market. So a lot of my investors, they buy property over in Dominican Republic so they can put it on platforms such as Airbnb. So it's a very profitable and easy way to get in as an investor. And to get it started is way more simple than people typically think it is. You basically need a passport and a reservation fee, which could vary anywhere from 500 to 5,000, and everything is processed through DocuSign, and we do have lawyers that handle the contracts from the beginning to the end. So that is one of the popular ways that investors are now getting into the market. Now, as far as the Metaverse, Trophyverse is a new launch of a Metaverse. We're in like a pre-launch stage right now. As of January, we will be fully launched. And how the platform is set up, we have investors coming in buying digital land. Now, the digital land, you can actually build on the land just like you would do in the real world. So you can build a house, you can build a storefront, so any type of business that you can think of or that you already have that's existing, you can actually put it on the metaverse and you can have your clients come into the metaverse, meet you there and conduct business, whether it's virtually and even if it's physical, regular business. They can come in, like, for example, to a shoe store and they will see the type of shoes that they like and they can order it in the store and then you can actually send it to them in the physical form. So it's a new way to do the metaverse. A lot of the metaverses now are gaming, but we focus on business, and our investors love that.
Mm, I like that. And then as far as so you talked about like Airbnb, like all of those other just
Mhm.
ways of um facets of real estate, right? Like tell us more.
Yes. So in Dominican Republic, the good thing is we have property management. So you, as an investor, will have no worries about your property. We're going to do the cleaning. We're going to do your calendar. We're going to make sure you're booked, and our rates of occupancy is 90%. So that's pretty high. So you will get your return on the money that you invest into your property. So that is a good idea to look into Airbnb internationally. And we make it easy for the investors because most of them, they don't have too much time to come out and visit and manage their property. So we offer property management, which also is at no cost up front. It's a 70-30 split, 70 for the investor and 30% for the property management.
Okay. 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 Good to know. All right. So you led into my next question, right? Like you're talking about something that I know goes totally over my head. Like I heard about it. I know it got to do with avatars and people, creating the
Mhm.
the the things that look like them on the internet. But this metaverse, right?
Yeah.
Like what do you do in relation to real estate in the metaverse?
Well, right now I'm just selling the digital land to my investors, but I do plan on purchasing a plot of land and putting a office front there so investors can come meet me in the metaverse and we can conduct business that way as well.
Hmm. So how is that different from like how me and you, for those that are listening, right? Like you hear us on this podcast, right? But we're also on Zoom and we see each other. So how different is it meeting in the metaverse versus, meeting on Zoom or something like that?
Well, it's totally, totally different. When you go into the metaverse, it's almost like you're out, like you're really in the real world. So you can walk around the metaverse. Like I said, you can conduct business in the metaverse. Things that you do here, you can do there. It's just a different way of doing it. It is $1 billion industry that's leading towards $1 trillion. So it's almost like a niche, but the niche has grown probably beyond what people ever imagined. And if you, do a little bit of research in it, you'll see that's the way that the world is turning. So I like to call it the new because a lot of businesses such as like Nike, and I also just saw something with H&M where they're actually taking their business onto the metaverse also.
Hmm. So in the metaverse, when you're meeting with these people, like, are you sort of like a video game? Like you're there controlling your person, or like y'all both are controlling y'all people at the same time in this metaverse?
Yes, you're in control of your person. So yes, it's almost like a game figure, you're gonna create and then you will be in the metaverse as that figure. Yeah.
Okay. So then y'all chatting via like text, or you're texting for what you want your metaverse person to say and all of that?
We're talking, just like how like me and you were talking now. You have a like you can go in online digitally on some computers, but most people, 90%, they're gonna go in with the glasses.
Okay. That's what I was thinking too, those virtual reality
Yeah.
glasses.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. I ain't ready,
Yeah.
y'all. I ain't ready. More power to the new. I love it. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? I think it's super cool though, right? Like just more ways to do more things, right? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I know that you got like some kind of certification or something in relation to that. Tell us more about that.
Yes. To become a digital agent with the Trophyverse, you must first complete a course. Once you complete that course, you will be tested. It's like about 50 plus questions. You have to receive a 90% to pass the test, and then you will be a certified digital sales agent, which is what I am today. Yes.
Okay. All
The
right.
process is not it's not hard. It's not a hard process at all, but you must be certified to sell land.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Look, that's awesome.
Oh, and another thing I want to add to it, some people who just want to see a stream of income, you don't necessarily have to conduct business in there. You can actually become a landlord. So we do have properties that are going up for rent, and then I myself as an agent will help you find a tenant, and that tenant will pay you a monthly rent, just like here. But some people may not can afford to buy. So just like in the U.S., we have renters as well, and then they can, do whatever they want to do on the land, and they will pay you rent. Another way people are doing it, they're coming in early, being that we're in like a pre-launch stage. So once they buy their property, we will launch in about a couple of months, and the prices are going to go up. So some people are actually going to sell for a profit or either sell to upgrade to a bigger lot of land.
So that's sort of like the buy and flip.
Yeah, so like being a landlord or just buying and yep, and flipping it without, even doing anything to it, just waiting for that increase.
Right. Interesting.
Hmm.
So, look, you really got me going now. So the whole landlord thing. So, and my brain is stuck on physical, right? Because that's what I've been used to for these last 40 years of my life. So, as a landlord, well, I know the thing, you collect the rent, right? I guess that would be the same with that. But also, responsibilities of the landlord is like to upkeep the house and things like that. Like, what's the responsibility of a landlord in Metaverse?
Well, it's gonna be this pretty much the same as in the USA. But most of the people that are going to come into rent, I mean, it wouldn't really be anything to like upkeep because it's a brand new metaverse. And if they want, they can build a storefront or whatever business that they want to build on there. But we are required, just as in regular US, for landlord duties. But remember, it's virtual. So it's a little different where we're not going to have like, oh, they have to come in to fix a toilet or something like that.
Right, right. I love that. Okay. So I know in relation to getting clients, right? Like, and this is something that goes across many industries, right? Like you have to prospect and have sales calls, right? So a very important part of business, something that I myself needs to get better at. Give us some advice that you have in this area because I know this is something that you do often.
Okay. For me personally, the advice is to market yourself. If you don't market yourself, people won't know about your business. So I would say social media is really a big platform to find potential clients and also look into different groups. So, say you're a realtor, you will want to look into those real estate groups and you will want to, post what you do. Also, I would say invest in Canva. I mean, you can make all kind of digital flyers that you can present on social media. But some people take social media lightly, but it is a very big platform to get your clients. And also take it the old fashioned way too. I have business cards. So if I'm at an event or just out in general, sometimes I will leave my business card. Like for example, I went and got my hair done today and I left my business cards at the salon for one of the businesses that I do. So you have to put yourself out there. And another thing is you must have like a calendar. So when you do meet people, sometimes they may read your material, but they want to talk. They want to, want to get a little personal, more of a feel. So you would have your calendar ready. You send them a link so they can schedule an appointment with you.
Yeah, I like that. And I guess it's, making that time, right?
Yes.
Like the time to meet people, then the time to talk to people.
And that's what the calendar is for. So you put down the times that you're available. Like me personally, I don't have a lot of time because I'm working full time and I have multiple businesses. So the calendar is what helps me a lot with business.
Right, right. So then in dealing with like these sales calls, right? Because I know a big thing for people in business or people in general, like for me personally, like I don't like hearing the word no. Right. So if you ain't telling
Right.
me yes, I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
Sorry, not sorry, right? Like, and I'm getting better though. I'm getting better because I
Mhm.
know that the no's don't define me. How did you deal with that in the beginning? Were you like immediately faced with all of these yeses, or
Mhm.
how did you navigate that terrain of getting on the call with this person, but I have to be realistic on whether or not it's going to turn into what I want it to turn into?
Right. Well, I'm in different genres of business. So I could say for the metaverse, so far it's been yes, yes, yes. So I've been blessed with that. I have recruited a lot of agents under me. I've been selling digital land. So maybe that could be a niche for me. That's what it seems like. That's the angle it's going. But as far as KW Punta Cana, I never received a direct no, but I have wasted a lot of time. But it's really not time wasted per se, because you always keep those people for later and you go back and follow up with them. The issue that I have had and still have is people get me on the phone for an hour at a time. And then at the end of the conversation, they say they don't have all the money for the deposit, or they have the deposit, but they're not going to have the down payment, or can we do this in a few months? So you have to learn how to deal with the words later, because usually it's always they want to do it later, and you have to learn how to deal with the words no, which is, it may be hard, but remember, people could say no today and say yes tomorrow. So always keep those people, in the back pocket just in case, and follow up with them at a later time.
I like that. I like that. So like you said, it's not wasted time, it's time spent, time invested, right?
Mhm.
And it sounds like you learned something from each of your different calls that allows you to handle the calls better.
Yes.
It makes me think of, so recently I did a sales call training with one of my coaches. She brought in someone to do a sales call training with us. And during the call, she actually had us fill out a survey to determine what kind of sales personality we have, because some people have like I don't want to say aggressive. I'm trying to remember, but it's more like outgoing, introverted versus extroverted, right? So
Right.
your sales personality could be introverted or could be extroverted and things like that. And then depending on who you're talking to, they may like to receive in a certain way, right? So it was really cool because it told us how to handle, all of the different personalities. Because just like you have a selling personality, you have a buying personality. And one of the things in relation to what you said is having pre-screening questions. Like, so maybe in your calendar invite, just maybe being straight up like, do you have this amount of money to invest? Do you have this amount of money for a down payment? And having a person answer that question so that you can know whether or not you need to get on a call with these people, because we can't get no more time back. And, I know how busy you are. Y'all, so I didn't tell y'all a secret, right? Like Shameekah is my aunt in real life, but I call her my cousin because we are in the same age bracket, right? So super, super, super excited to have her on the podcast. So I know a lot about her, right? Outside of business, but a lot of this business stuff I don't know because we always talk about the kids and vacations and things like that, right? But going back to that, so like I know how we both don't have all of this extra time. So I thought that that tip that they gave was a great tip to kind of weed people out, so to say. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
maybe on one day when I might have all this extra time, I could talk to you, even though you might not have the money.
Right,
But if I don't have that time, then I know like I can't schedule this call with you right now.
right. And I could give you a little tip. You may already be doing this, but for, like I said, I have multiple businesses. So for one of my businesses, I set up a 5 minute consultation. So in 5 minutes, I need to, well, actually, sometimes I go for 10 and it's free. Then I know, and this is really with the real estate stuff because I do help people in certain areas with real estate. So then I know in 10 minutes, are you going to book me or are you wasting my time? So it's 10 minutes and that's it. So that's a good thing. Now with the KW Punta Cana, it's a little bit more entailed. People tend to lie. When
Mm,
they email me and when we inboxing, they're telling me they're ready. Let's make a call. I'm ready. I got money. And then we get on the phone, it's a different story.
right. So yeah, so that's just something that comes along with the territory.
So I think it's just part of the game.
Right, right. Okay, okay. But I love how even with all of that, right? Like realizing, it may be some people that's serious, it may be some people that's not, right? But if you encounter people that act like they want to do business with you, seem like they serious, but get on a call and are not serious, right? To just continue to push forward because the more you go, the more you will find your people,
Right.
right? Yeah. We got merch. Go to winhersunited.com/shop to check out the WinHers t shirts. There are two options available for you in multiple colors. Get one for you and a friend. One is called the WinHers Courageous t shirt, and the other is called the WinHers Birthright t shirt. The material is top notch, and the designs are too cute. Remember, you're a WinHer every day, so you might as well wear the t shirt. Get yours today at winhersunited.com/shop. All right, so let's switch over a little bit, right? Let's talk some mindset things. And yeah, let's talk mindset, right? So I know that you've been pushing toward full-time entrepreneurship for almost 20 years, right? Like 20 years into the entrepreneurial thing, juggling this, juggling that, trying to find what your thing is, right?
Mhm.
And as I was thinking about that, I would call that perseverance. Like you giggled a little bit, probably like, dang, that sounds crazy. But at the end of the day, to me, it's perseverance, right? Because you could have said, oh, forget this entrepreneurship thing. It's not my thing. But it's like, no, I'm going to figure out how to make this thing work, right?
Mhm.
So, what strategies do you use to keep going when things don't work out or when things don't look the way you want them to look?
Well, I wouldn't say particular strategy. It's more so the will and the push to accomplish my goals because I don't feel that I'm a worker. I mean, yes, I go to work every day, I have, pay bills, put food on the table, but I don't think that's me. So I'm pushing myself to be the woman that I'm destined to be. It may not happen in the exact time that I want it to happen, but I know that one day it will happen. So every day I just say, keep going, keep going. I mean, yes, some days I have days where I'm like, oh my goodness, it's a rough day. I didn't get any sales. I didn't get any feedback, but it's going to be days like that, but you just have to keep pushing. And then as I look at my children, my responsibilities, and I know what I want for myself, I just keep going. And another good thing is to surround yourself with like minded people. So I am in a few different groups, like online, with people who have the similar mindset. So we also keep each other motivated.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So, as I was listening, right, I heard positive affirmations, right? Like a lot of times we have to encourage ourselves,
Mhm.
quiet the negative self talk. It didn't sound like you had that, but I know that's one of the things that I deal with where it's like the sky is falling, the sky is falling. and I have to quiet that voice, right? And tell it, we're safe, we're good, it's gonna
Mhm.
work out, some of the things that you were saying. I also heard you talk about knowing your why, right? Like your children being one of your whys and helping you to push forward. And I wonder if, like, I'm a data person, right? So what you said made me actually want to do a data, but it'll be a lot of analysis time because we have over 150 episodes. But if I had $1, right, for every time somebody said the circle you keep or the people that you keep around you, right, I'd be able to, take myself out to a nice dinner. I'm speaking of the women on this podcast alone, right? Like that circle is so, so, so important. So I'm
Okay.
glad that you mentioned that, right? And I think they are strategies, right? Like we don't realize some of the things that we just innately do. It's a strategy, right? For a person that's not doing it, like this is what you could do to get yourself over into this lane and, moving in this particular fashion.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about some of the ways or resources that you've used to grow yourself in the real estate industry. So you kind of alluded, like Shameekah, you taking my thunder, right? Because you're getting ahead of me, with your answers, jumping into my questions now. So I know you talked about Facebook groups, but talk to us a little bit more about ways that you've grew your knowledge, and honed your skills in relation to real estate.
I am very keen on having a mentor. So, in every genre that I'm in, I pretty much have a mentor. In the Keller Williams group, a lady named LaShonda, she is the broker of basically of the real estate group that I'm in. And she's how I got to KW Punta Cana. She's been in the real estate game over 20 years. She's a phenomenal lady that lives in Georgia, and she's like, she really will push and motivate you. So I think a mentorship is very important. There's nothing wrong with having someone in your life that has more than you, that you inspire to, one day get on that same level that they're on. So I think everybody who's trying to make it in whatever certain industry they're in, mentorship is a great idea to get involved in. So, yeah, I would say, and the groups are definitely a good thing to get into like minded business groups on social media platforms. And I'm in a few right now, currently, that I enjoy, talking to other people who have the same similar, ambitions and goals. So, we push each other forward, and even building some friendships. You have to realize as you grow, you're going to outgrow some friends. Not necessarily that you have to cut them off, but you have to create space and allow new friendships into your life. Because when they say no new friends, I don't believe in that. Because the new friends that I met, guess what? We have invested together, we have made money together. And most of those old friends, 90%, we have done nothing but chitter chat. And I'm trying to build and move forward.
Listen, look, that's a whole let's drop the mic. Let's drop the mic, okay? You reminded me, and I speak meme. All of the loyal listeners out there, y'all know that I always got a meme to reference, right? So you reminded me of a meme or something I saw somewhere in the social media streets, right? That said, a stranger will support you faster than your quote unquote family and friends.
That's
Well, I want to quote unquote them, right? But your
that's
family and friends,
true.
right?
Very
So
true.
right, right. Don't be afraid. And I agree with you. Like it took a while for me to realize, like, and I was like, wait, no new friends? Heck yeah, new friends, because a lot of my old friends, I don't even think they really like me. So
Right.
I'll be sitting here in this circle of people that really don't like me,
Exactly.
and then there's people out there that will like me for me. I don't gotta change for them to like me, and we can go forth and be great, right? And I don't have to, be around people that you got me questioning myself because why you don't like, like I'm questioning is something wrong with me?
Right.
When the fact is you don't like me and that's okay, but why are we around each other? Right? Like why
Right.
are we around each other?
And
I love that.
sometimes, and most of the time, it's not even about them not liking you. It's about you growing and them staying still. So they don't want
Mm.
to see you grow. I'm going through that right now, still present tense, 40 years old. I'm watching people distance themselves from me, not respond like they used to me, but it's okay. It's all part of my growth, and I'm seeing people, for who they really are, and then I'm just going to move forward and create better and new friendships.
Right. Yes, I love that spin. All
Hmm.
right. So I want to take a step back into what you were talking about as far as mentors, right? I think that's great, great advice. And you were saying it's okay to have people around you that are doing better than you. I want to take that a step further and say that's hashtag goals, not just okay. It should be
Yes,
an aspiration, right? Because what do they say? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? Because
yes,
how are you going to grow? Like you need somebody that's doing better than you to give you ideas of things to aspire to, right? To teach you how to get to the level that they're on, right? Like,
yes,
how are you going to get to the next level if you don't have that example in front of you in some kind of way? And if that person is not somebody physically in your life, then it needs to be somebody, out in the internet or, Oprah or, who I love, Brene Brown or, different people that are in your lane that are doing a thing that you can study and see what they did and figure out how you can implement those things in your life, right? So definitely hashtag goals. And I
yes,
believe that that also goes into like abundance mindset, right? And not fearing, like because I do believe it's enough for all of us,
yes,
and
yes,
I also believe in the power of proximity, right? Like instead of looking at it as a bad thing, or being jealous of a person that has more. Like if you next to a person that got more stuff, then that could possibly mean you got more stuff coming to you very soon.
right, right.
So that's another way to look at it, right? But I want to talk about these Facebook groups, like, and I know you've told me about many groups that you're in. How did you find the groups for people that, like whatever market or industry or niche they may be in, that like some tips on how they can find different Facebook groups to join and possibly learn from?
Well, the main group that I'm in is actually a paid group that I've been in for over a year. I met a gentleman online. He calls himself Rich, and he has a lot of franchises, a lot of businesses. And I watched him. I really watched him for 2 years online, and he created a class. Basically, we had a year long of different kind of classes, such as like drop shipping, forex, all kind of classes like that. But we had to pay a membership, and the class is over, but we still have the group, so the people still intertwine, and that's how I met some of my business partners in that group. So you can do paid groups like that, or you can just simply search for groups on Facebook and find those kind of groups. And some people actually have their own private groups. Like someone just invited me to a group with like-minded people, and I'm in that, but that was free. So it's just about doing the research and seeing what people have to offer, because some people are offering different kind of groups that you can go on, paid or unpaid. So that's how I found the groups, just by doing research and watching people, researching people to see like who they really are before I put my time into it.
Okay. Okay. So that sounds like those keywords, right? So whatever word is associated with your industry. So for me, I put in podcasting or podcast or podcaster, and I found a lot of different groups on Facebook. You probably put in what, real estate.
With the investor. Hmm.
Right. Okay. I like that. So whatever word is associated with your industry, look up that word, think of different words that go along with those words and you'll find some groups in relation to that. I love your advice as far as I watch the people first, right? Because
Hmm.
I know one of the things that I've been guilty of in the past is, just jumping in head first. If I think I quote unquote like a person or they give me a good initial vibe, right? Which anybody could give you a good initial
Right,
vibe,
right.
I may jump head in and invest. And then sometimes, I ended up getting bitten behind it, right? So I love that advice to actually pay attention and, kind of feel the person out before investing your money so that you can guard yourself from being disappointed. It's probably not foul proof, but it may be some
Hmm.
kind of barrier that you're putting in between, to keep
Yes.
yourself safe because it is a lot of people claiming to know something and do something. And
Yeah, and don't know anything.
listen, okay. And we
But-
and we just gonna leave that one right there.
right.
All right. So you talked about the many things you juggle, right? And it's so funny that you actually mentioned it because I had already wrote a question on it, right? I'm like, Shameekah is just half psychic. She all in my business, y'all. I did not send her the questions that I have here, right? And she just know what I'm gonna say. But
Mhm.
anywho, so like you juggle many things, right? Like you talked about it, full-time employment, entrepreneurship. You didn't talk about motherhood, but I know that's part of your bio. And for you, everyone that wants to read her full bio, go to the show
Mhm.
notes, right? But motherhood of two humans as well as a dog, right? Being in a relationship and, right? So a lot of people, and I can relate, right? Like minus the relationship and the pet. I'm not doing the pet thing right now, right? But minus that, like I always have a lot going on, and people usually ask me, like, how do you do all of the things? Right. But my question for you is, how do you stay organized, with the limited amount of time you have and just being able to have your hands in the things that you have your hands in?
Well, honestly, I'll tell you, I'm the type of person that's all over the place, but I try to make everything work because if I see like an opportunity that I'm interested in, I go for it. But right now, I'm on a standstill because I have a lot of stuff in front of me right now. So I'm trying to, focus on those things before I do something else because I am thinking about doing something else. But yeah, you just have to learn how to juggle. Like the good thing with me, with my career job, well, my job, let's say career, I'm off 3 days of the week. So those days that I'm off, like on the weekend, I can focus a little bit more on my family, on my children. Wednesdays is when I kind of focus on business because I can't tend to get to everyone during the week because I have to go to work. So it is a lot to juggle. So between just having motivation, just having a calendar, just having goals, I try to keep myself as focused as I can and as organized as I can. But I am all over the place. But somehow I just make it work. I'm not saying that it's easy because sometimes when I'm doing stuff with business, my fiance might want my attention. My children might want my attention. My dog might want my attention. But you have to have a clear understanding with your household, the goals that you are trying to accomplish, and they should be helping you strive towards those goals as well. So then you're all set in that area. You don't have to, worry about, any conflicts, going on as you try to, scale your businesses. So my family, they understand, they're helpful, they're supporting, so that helps me a lot.
I like that. I like that. So for me, like personally, if I don't write something down, like, sometimes my memory do me good. Sometimes she be on
Mhm.
point, and
Mhm.
me and her be walking in the same lane at the same pace. And sometimes I be walking ahead of her and she be back behind, right? And I be forgetting the things I'm supposed to remember, right? So for me personally, if I don't write things down on a list, or use the notepad in my phone and write things in a notepad, I will not remember those things. Like, do you have any applications or anything like that that you use besides your calendar link that keeps you on point?
Yes, I have a little notebook. I've been having a little notebook since I was 20 years old. So I write everything down in my notebook to help me. Sometime I forget and it's just key memory or like you said, my calendar. But I'm starting now, as of lately, to start writing things down more because even millionaires, like I'm involved with, the multiple businesses. I've seen the multimillionaires having a notebook and writing stuff down. So you have to always write things down. Yes,
Right.
I believe
I
in
love
writing
it.
things down.
All right. Look, listen. It's tried and true, y'all. It's tried and true, and for all of our millennials or people that are extra green, like I said, we have the notepads in our phone. It's something, I switch in between my phone and my notebook, but it's something about, and I actually did the research, like
Mhm.
when you write stuff down, it
Yes,
does something in your
it
brain to
does
help
something
you
to me.
remember it.
Yes.
Yeah, even more, right? So it's scientific, y'all. It's scientific.
Hmm.
All right, so let's talk about self care, right? So when we talk, so let me let y'all know, right? Just because Shameekah is my family, I didn't cut any corners with her, right? She had to have the pre-interview, just like everybody else had to have the pre-interview. Like we do things the way we do things because I want to show up as the best for you all. I totally appreciate your support and listening in, right? So during our call, when I spoke to Shameekah and we talked about some of the topics that we'd be talking about today, she brought up a self-care practice that I don't know if anyone else talked about on the podcast. And I thought it was super, super cool. So let's talk foot detoxes, right? Like, what are they and how do they help you, right? Because, like we preach self care here. Self care is so important, but it comes in many different forms. And I thought a foot detox was something that deserves a highlight on today's episode.
Okay. Yes, my fiance and I are part of a spa in our area, and they do foot detoxes. So basically, you come in and they're going to soak your feet, and all the toxins that's in your body is going to be released.
Mm,
A person like me or somebody that works a lot, has multiple businesses, if you get that twice a week, that will really help you inside and out. You feel good after that cleansing. It's so good to the point that we recently been discussing investing in our own foot spa, but we found out it's not as expensive as we thought it was because we want to start doing it more on a regular basis. So we're doing it maybe like twice a month, maybe every other week. But we think we need to start doing it like twice a week at least, minimum, maybe 3 times. So we're going to actually invest soon in our own. But yes, it does. If you look it up, it does help detoxify your body, and you will actually see it because when you have your feet in the water, there's certain colors that's going to change to, and basically what was released out of your body.
I like that. I might have to look. Look, I might have to go on old trusty Groupon, y'all, because look, I go on Groupon.
First time we went, we did use a Groupon, yes.
Listen, that's look, me and Groupon get along real well. That's how I do a lot of my outside the box experiences by seeing what Groupon got to offer. I like that though. So now don't get me wrong. So I have seen like some of these, I don't know if it's commercials. It can be commercials because I don't watch regular TV, right? Some kind of advertisement. Let's just say advertisement where it's sort of like it reminds me of like a back patch that they put on the people's foot, and it
Oh yes.
the that's what it is.
No, no, no. Oh no, that's not what it is. But
Okay.
that is a form you can get. I did see that when I was browsing on Amazon. I have never really tried it per se, but I have saw that.
Okay. So this different. So this one they probably got they have something specific in the water.
Your feet are going to be in water. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, y'all. Look, listen, we
Yeah.
always looking for something new to do. Right? That's the
Mhm.
idea. Self-care comes in many forms.
Different ways. Yeah.
All right. So we love to talk about wins, right? Because winners have wins, right? So tell us about your latest win and why it's important to you.
My latest win. Hmm. My latest win. Well, I probably have a few. I guess my latest win is back to Tropiverse. To this morning, I recruited a new agent, and I think she's going to do very well. She's also a realtor, so she's going to actually be buying digital land and bringing her business to the metaverse. And she already has like 20 investors that's interested because before we even had our call today, she was telling people about our call, about what we offer, and they are set, ready to go and learn. So that's going to bring in more investors for Tropiverse. So yes, this morning was definitely a win.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Listen. I love it. I love it. So how many people do you have under you in the
Right,
Tropiverse?
right now, I have like 10 people under me.
Okay.
Mhm.
Look, and you just started recently. How long ago you started?
It's been about 2 months. I caught on fast.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Listen, she out here doing the thing. Look, if y'all want to get into that metaverse, y'all gonna have to do it and just let me know how I go. Cause like I said, I ain't ready yet, but
Mhm.
I'm
When
more power,
when
more
you're
power,
ready,
more power.
when you're ready, I'm here because you can bring that podcast to the metaverse.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you can bring anything to the metaverse. It's a different clientele for the metaverse. So
All
that's
right, we're gonna have to talk, y'all. Now she talking about taking the pod. Y'all know how I am about this podcast, right? I want to take this podcast as far as I could take it, right? So we might have to take it to the metaverse, y'all. We might have to take it to the metaverse. All
yeah.
right, Shameekah. So tell us what being a winner means to you.
Being a win her means a woman. who is striving for goals, a woman who is empowered, a woman who is courageous, a woman that is strong willed, a woman of purpose. That's what it means to me.
Okay. So the Win Her t-shirt, y'all, because I don't y'all been listening to the advertisement that's in the middle? Yeah, so we have the Win Her Courageous t-shirt, right? And it's in the form of a definition. And one of them is called the Win Her Courageous t-shirt. And it has the definition so it has two. Like one, sometimes when you look at a definition, it has number one, number two, number three, where the word can mean several different things. But on the shirt, number two says, I am her and she is me. And that's what I thought of when I heard your definition of win her,
Yes, I
right?
love it. Give
Yes.
me one.
Look, okay, I send you the link. I send you the link, honey. All right. So, do you have any parting words of advice for us?
Parting words and advice is to never give up and keep pushing forward. You got it.
All right. So, tell us where we can find you.
You can find me at Shameekah Melvin on Facebook. You can find me on my phone at 678-489-1250. And my email is smelvin@kw.do.
D is in dog, O is in octopus.
Yes. And that is an international email. So that's how you know it's in Dominican Republic. DO means International for Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay. All right
Yeah.
now. Look, she's showing out, y'all. She is showing out, honey. All right, Shameekah. Oh my goodness, I learned so much. Look, and we talk often. Like I never thought of taking the podcast to the metaverse. I never thought of that, right? So super grateful for that insight and just really learning more about this whole new world that's evolving around us. Because I definitely believe that what do they say? Like, stay up to date or get left behind, right? So I don't want to get left behind, right? So you definitely enlightened me to some things, and I'm just really enjoying watching your journey and so excited to see where it goes. I really enjoyed this interview with Shameekah, and I hope you did as well. My takeaway for today is to do more research into the metaverse so I can stay up to date with the changes that are happening around me. I was shocked when Shameekah told me that I can take WinHers United, the podcast, to the metaverse. I definitely want to explore this more. What's your takeaway from this episode? Send me an email and let me know. My email is winhersunited@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. One of my mottos is sharing is caring. So I sure hope that you care to share. Also, don't forget to go to winhersunited.com/podcast to find the show notes for this episode, to read Shameekah's full bio, to get the links to connect with Shameekah, to get the Cash App handle for WinHers United, to get the direct link to my Buy Me a Coffee page, to get the link to get your WinHers t-shirt, and more. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another amazing, winning woman of color entrepreneur. But until then, as always, be empowered and empower on.